Hello, Corey from the Bach Scholar YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me today. This is a really exciting video because I have a few things to go over with you. First of all, if you want to learn how to finger Bach's inventions, stay tuned for more because I'm actually working on, I have a big stack of the two-part inventions here, and I'm currently working on sort of just re-fingering all of them. Because you always see new things when you go back to old things, especially with Bach. With Bach, especially the inventions, the two-part or three-part inventions, fugues, you can always find different fingerings. Have you ever found that to be the case? Like, you know, I'm assuming you're a pianist. So if you're a pianist, I hope you've run into this problem. If you haven't run into this problem, you're not really using your mind correctly. You should run into fingering problems in your piano practice, and you should debate with yourself on fingerings. This shows that you have an active mind and that you're seeking out, always seeking out better fingerings. So my goal as a pianist, piano teacher, as a scholar, recently I've begun this big fingering project. Okay, I call it Focus on Fingering. And that's why one reason why I'm re-fingering the Bach inventions, because I always see new things, really quite things that are hidden, little hidden things. I like to find little tricks, little hacks, so to speak. I'm working on, currently working on a book, actually. I'm working on many books, actually, but I'm currently working on a book called Minimalist Piano Fingering. And so when I combine minimalist piano fingering, sort of this sort of theory I've been working on for several years now, with my new scale fingerings. Okay, if you don't have this book yet, you've got to get it. A new and improved system of scale fingering. I have different or alternative scale fingerings for all the major and minor scales, and they are amazing fingerings. They're the best fingerings that you can find for these scales. This is the first book, or the flagship book in the series Focus on Fingering. So I have a Focus on Fingering here. This is where it all began in this book here. Then I have also this, the 12 major scales. This is also in the Focus on Fingering series here. And then what just came out and it's hot off the press, this is what I'm really, really excited about. I am really, truly excited about this. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this book, into these fingerings. Let me tell you, fingering music is not an easy thing. Okay, because very often I'll have a really good fingering worked out for a passage. Say a passage in the right hand. And I'll say, this is great, I like this. Then I'll come back 2 days later and I'll say, well, I like 3 better than 2. Or I like to put my thumb under here instead of doing this or whatever. And then I change it, and I end up changing it, and then I like it better. And then a couple days later, I find maybe I'll either go back to the original fingering or I'll do something in between. You know, it doesn't seem like I ever can solve the problem, but I'm always searching. I'm always searching for the perfect fingering, if that such a thing exists, for these famous works of music. So, hot off the press, and I'm really excited about this, is Clementi's 6 Sonatinas, Opus 36. These are my most popular videos on YouTube. I've gained probably more followers and subscribers and fans and things through these Clementi videos than any other of my YouTube videos. Finally, at my ripe old age, and after I've been playing these my whole life, I finally have my own edition of these with my special new and practical fingerings. This is a totally new fingering system. So if you're used to traditional fingerings and your normal books with Clementi, you're in for a treat. These are great fingerings. These will help you learn these works better than you've ever learned them before. I'm a specialist in fingering. Fingering is my newest thing. I know that I've been known as the sight reading guy because I have, of course, I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. I don't even know where it is. Sight reading and harmony. Oh, right here. No, it's not there. I don't know where it is. Sight reading and harmony. Okay, I'm the sight reading guy. So it's not here in this stack either. I know I have stacks of music all over. I've been known as the sight reading guy for the last almost 10 years, since 2017. 2017, I published Sight Reading and Harmony. You have to get that book, definitely. And now I'm still the sight reading guy. I'm still the teacher to come to for sight reading. I developed my own system of sight reading, of developing sight reading skills. That is, not a system of sight reading, but a way of developing sight reading skills. So in my newest project here, which I'm really diving into, and I'll be doing this in addition to other things for the next several years, is my Focus on Fingering series. Focus on Fingering. So in this wonderful edition of Clementi Sonatinas, I give all my fingerings here in this beautiful manuscript too. This is one of the best, probably one of the best manuscripts you've ever seen, up there like with Henley. Really good and clear manuscript, clear fingerings. Another problem that I ran into with a lot of editions, musical editions they supply fingerings, but the fingerings are like, the font is too small. And several well-known companies have been putting out books with fingerings in there that you just can't even see. I know I'm a little old, but these are ridiculously small. They were like really small font, like 5-point font or something with normal. What you need at least 8-point font with bold in the fingerings. So one thing is about my books with fingerings, you can see all the fingerings clearly. Even if you're an old person, you can see them clearly because I put them in bold. Now they're not really big, okay, so I don't really dumb it down. They're not huge numbers or anything for the fingering, but they're very clear. They're all in bold. They're Helvetica bold. That's what I use for the fingering. That's the clearest font that you can possibly use for printing numbers in music books. So I'm really excited about this Clementi. You need to get that. The links are below this video. You can get a printable PDF. You can also get the hard copy. Links are all down there. And of course, it all started with these two books here, so you need to get these as well. So far, in my Focus on Fingering series, I have 3 books. I have the Clementi, and then I have the 12 major scales, and then I have a new and improved system of scale fingering. Now, back to the Bach inventions. It's very interesting. I'll just tell you something about myself. I am not I'm not an OCD type person in day-to-day activities. But when it comes to fingering on piano, I'm like the most OCD you can get. Now, believe me, this is ridiculous, but it's also good because I'm coming up with really great ideas that I'm going to add to my book on minimalist piano fingering. I'm getting some really great ideas from going back over these Bach inventions, which I've already played and taught a million times over. I've played and taught them a million times, and now I'm investigating brand new fingerings. In fact, I had some fingerings here the other day. I tried them out today and I didn't like them, so I erased them and now I'm trying something else. Anyway, let me just give you a little glimpse into my world. Now, if you're a pianist, you've probably played this, probably played that, the Bach Invention number 14. Now, have you ever thought about, like, how do you want to finger that beginning? Do you want to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 1? You want to use 1, 2, 3? It works perfectly fine to do that. The only drawback is you have to get your thumb on B flat. That can be problematic for many, well, some pianists or students might have a harder time getting their thumb on the black key. So there's another alternative. You can go 2, 3, 4. And then do 5 here. And then do any combination up here. So you can go 1, 2, 3. Or 2, 3, 4. You can do any one of those. And believe me, I've been debating on this for years. 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 Not just months, not hours, years. I've played and taught this piece millions of times, and I cannot figure out which one I like best. Because it always changes. Sometimes I like to do 1, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I like to do 2, 3, 4. But it's not just the beginning, it's the whole piece. This motif is all over the place. So the problem you have in fingering this invention is there's like about a dozen different ways you can finger this invention. Believe me, it's not an easy thing to do, because if you take, let's take the left hand here. You can go 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is in measure 7. Or you can go 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Or you could even go 5, 4, 3. You know, if you have a strong 5th and 4th finger, you can do that as well. So there's like 3 different options. You can start with 3. You can start with 4. Or you can start with 5. But usually what will happen is whatever you choose for that will lead to something else a very short while later. So if I play, say if I start with 3, then I can only go so high for the next note. If the note's really high, then it's probably better if I somehow get to my 5th finger here so I can reach up higher. So you see, it's like going down multiple roads. You have a main road, and then if you take one finger, this creates little tributaries or little tiny roads going out. So there's just like probably 1,000 different ways you can finger this invention, because you can once again you can go 3, 2, 1. You can go 5, 4, 3. I don't like that one because I have like a weak 5th finger. Or you can go 2, 3, 4. So in my case, I think it was best to either choose 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 4. And I think lately, for this latest fingering I've done on the invention here, earlier today, I'm veering towards 2, 3, 4 for not all of them, but most of them. So, because I just find it's a little more comfortable, and the more I examine it, the more I try it out. But since I've been doing more 2, 3, 4s in my right hand, that's like my newest best fingering is that. So if I do that, if I go 2, 3, 4 here, I'll probably also want to do it in the left hand. So this has caused me to change many of my former left hand fingerings, because now instead of doing this, I used to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. This is at the end of measure 7. 1, 2, 3. But you can also go 2, 3, 4. And if you go 2, 3, 4, that's like sort of that's the inverse the inverse of the right hand going 2, 3, 4. So if I prefer 2, 3, 4 in the beginning, if I prefer 2, 3, 4 there, then most likely it should also be 2, 3, 4 here, because they're equal and they're, you know, symmetrical, basically symmetrical fingerings. So it's caused me, so in other words, because I refingered just the first notes at the very beginning with the right hand, that's caused me to totally refinger many of the fingerings in the left hand to remain consistent with that. You see, so I know you're probably seeing how I'm very OCD about fingerings now, but this is a good thing. This is a really good thing, because you need to be OCD about your fingerings. You never just settle. Never just settle for just a fingering. Never settle for a fingering. Always have an inquisitive mind. Always try out new fingerings. The best fingering, my favorite quote, it's actually my own quote, the best fingering is the one you haven't tried out yet. The best fingering is the one you haven't tried out yet. So that just tells you that if you're stagnant, if you're one of those types of pianists who just, you get a fingering and you want to keep it the rest of your life, well, I think you need to expand your mind a little bit, open up, try out some different possibilities, try out 3 or 4 different possibilities, whatever, how many you can find. Try them out one day, try them out another day, keep trying them out, keep trying out different possibilities. And then through time, the most logical and easiest kinds of fingerings will come to your fingers. So I hope that you will just sweep up my books here in my Focus on Fingering series, and eat them all up and learn these new fingerings. It's my job. My job is to find the best and the easiest fingerings based on a new fingering system of scales, and also based on minimalist fingering principles, my own sort of thing I've been developing. That's my goal. My goal is to make things easier for you, the student, and also you, the teacher, to teach these to students. So thank you for joining me today, and I will keep you posted on everything that comes out in the Focus on Fingering series. And I hope you just go and eat up the Clementi. Actually, I'm going to do another video on the just on the Clementi, rather than this one on Bach, and a sort of mixed video. So stay tuned for that. Thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate you being my subscriber and follower on YouTube. So until we meet again.